Alright, this is Numbers 10 in the MacArthur Study Bible. Little refresher of chapter 9. So chapter 9, you had the second Passover, but there were some people that got defiled by a human corpse, so they could not observe the Passover on the month and day when it would be observed. So they had to wait till the second month to do it. And also, of course, the very end, whenever God would appear to the people of Israel by a pillar of fire by night and a cloud by day, unless the pillar moved, then they would move if it moved. But if it stayed, then they would stay, basically. Alright. Now, chapter 10, looks like the first 10 verses, 2 silver trumpets. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Make 2 silver trumpets for yourself. You shall make them of hammered work. You shall use them for calling the congregation and for directing the movement of the camps. And when they blow both of them, all of the congregation shall gather before you at the door of the tabernacle of meeting. But if they blow only one, then the leaders, the heads of the divisions of Israel, shall gather to you. And when you sound the advance, the camps that lie on the east side shall begin their journey. And when you sound the advance the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall begin their journey. And they shall sound the call for them to begin their journeys. And when the assembly is to be gathered together, you shall blow, but not to sound the advance. The sons of Aaron the priests shall blow the trumpets, and these shall be to you as an ordinance forever throughout your generations. And when you go to war in your land against the enemy who oppresses you, then you shall sound the alarm with the trumpets. And you shall be remembered before the Lord your God, and you will be saved from your enemies. Also, in the day of your gladness and your appointed feasts, at the beginning of your months, you shall blow the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings. And they shall be a memorial for you before your God. I am the Lord your God. Okay. So Israel was to be guided by the blowing of 2 silver trumpets made by Moses. And both a call to gather and a call to march were communicated with the trumpets. And according to Jewish tradition, these instruments were between 12 to 20 inches. They were 12 to 20 inches long and had a narrow tube that was flared at the end. And Moses was to make them of hammered work. And that same description is given concerning the cherubim above the mercy seat. On the Ark of the Covenant, I think. And the first function of the trumpets was to gather the people to the tabernacle. And when both trumpets were blown, all the adult males of the congregation were to gather together. But if only one trumpet was blown, then the leaders of the tribes would come. And then the second purpose of the trumpets was to give a signal indicating that the tribes were to set out on their march. And the exact difference between the blowing for the gathering at the tabernacle and for the march is not known. And Jewish tradition says the convocation sound was a long, steady blast, while the advance signal was just a succession of 3 shorter notes. So I guess in other words, the blast to come to the tabernacle basically was a long blast, but I guess the blast to advance or to move out or whatever would be shorter blasts, I guess. And the blowing of the horns was to be a perpetual ordinance for Israel, calling the people to worship or to war. And also, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but it might. With this talk about trumpets, it kind of makes me think about the return of Jesus in Matthew 24, where he will come come on the clouds of heaven, and then he will actually send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his elect from the four winds. And then, of course, in that text, in Numbers 10, one of the reasons that silver trumpets would be blown was for them to gather at the tabernacle, in some cases. Yep. And then one day, trumpets will be blown for Jesus' people to be gathered to him for the new heaven and the new earth. And, of course, Jesus is ultimately the tabernacle. God with us. So there you go. So maybe that could be a little bit of a connection there. Yep, and then of course Jesus will be coming back to conquer his enemies and judge the world for their unrighteousness, and to deal with the Antichrist and his people. Yep, and of course the devil and the demons, throw them into the lake of fire as well. Yep. Alright, well, that's pretty much it for the trumpet section. And then finally, we get to this section. Departure from Sinai. And that's the rest of this chapter, 11 through 36. Now it came to pass on the 20th day of the second month in the second year after they came out of Exodus, after they came out of Egypt during the Exodus, that the cloud was taken up from the tabernacle of the testimony, and the children of Israel set out from the wilderness of Sinai on their journeys, and then the cloud settled down in the wilderness of Paran. And so they started out for the first time according to the command of the Lord by the hand of Moses. The standard of the camp of the children of Judah set out first according to their armies. Over their army was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, and over the army of the tribe of the children of Issachar was Nathaniel, the son of Zuar, and over the tribe of the children of Zebulun was Eliab, son of Helon. The tabernacle was taken down, and the sons of Gershon and the sons of Merari, they set out carrying the tabernacle. And the standard of the camp of Reuben set out according to their armies. Over their army was Elizur, son of Shedeur. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Simeon was Shelumiel, the son of Shurishadai. And over the army of the children of Gad was Eliasaph, the son of Duiel. And then the Kohathites set out carrying the holy things. The tabernacle would be prepared for their arrival. And the standard of the camp of the children of Ephraim set out according to their armies. And over their armies was Elishama, the son of Ammihud. And over the army of the tribe of the children of Manasseh was Gamaliel, son of Pedazur. And over the army of the tribe of Benjamin was Abidan, the son of Gideoni. And then the standard of the camp of the children of Dan, the rear guard of all the camps, so in the very back, set out according to their armies. Over their armies was the Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai, and over the army of the tribe of the children of Asher was Pagiel, son of Akron, and over the army of the tribe of the children of Naphtali was Ahira, son of Enon. Thus was the order of the march of the children of Israel according to their armies when they began their journey. And now Moses said, Hobab, the son of Reuel the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law, "We are setting out for the place of which the Lord said, 'I will give it to you.' Come with us, and we will treat you well, for the Lord has promised good things to Israel." And he said to him, "I will not go, but I will depart to my own land and to my own relatives." And so Moses said, "Please do not leave, insomuch as you know how we are to camp in the wilderness, and you can be our eyes. And it shall be, if you go with us, indeed it shall be that whatever good the Lord will do to us, the same we will do to you." And so they departed from the mountain of the Lord on a journey for 3 days, and the ark of the covenant of the Lord went before them for the 3 days' journey, to search out a resting place for them, and the cloud of the Lord was above them by day when they went out from the camp, and then of course the pillar of fire by night. And so it was, whenever the ark set out, Moses said, "Rise up, O Lord, let your enemies be scattered, and let those flee before those who hate you." And when it rested, he said, "Return, O Lord, to the many thousands of Israel." Okay. So finally, in an orderly and obedient fashion, Israel departed from Sinai as the Lord commanded through Moses. Finally, they're leaving Mount Sinai. And only 13 months after the exodus from Egypt and 11 months after the arrival at Sinai, Israel began to march toward Canaan. All right, so 13 months after the exodus and 11 months after the arrival at Sinai. So yeah, it's the second year that they left from Egypt. And they've been at Sinai for almost that whole year. Yeah, so now, of course, they're in that second year. So now they're leaving. And as they're leaving, the cloud settled in the wilderness of Paran. And according to chapter 13, verse 26, Kadesh was in the wilderness of Paran, which they're going to get to in chapter 13. Probably at its northern border. And this verse gives a summary of God's leading from Sinai to Kadesh. And the order of the march followed by Israel in these verses is in exact conformity to the details in chapter 2. Yeah, because in chapter 2 it gives the order that they would leave in. And that's exactly what happened. So you can go to the chapter 2 video for refresher on that. And for the fourth and final time, in the book of Numbers, the 12 leaders of the first generation were noted. Yep, the leaders of the different tribes. They're listed again as before. Chapters 1, 2, 7, and then again here. In accordance with Genesis 49, 8 through 12, the tribe of Judah was given preeminence as the ruling tribe. Yeah, Genesis 49, when Jacob is blessing his sons. And Judah led the march into the promised land. And then, and Moses said to Hobab, the son of Reuel the Midianite, Moses' father-in-law. So as a son of Reuel, Hobab, however you say that, was Moses' brother-in-law. And Reuel was the father-in-law of Moses, Exodus 2:18. Yeah, so who is this Reuel guy? Yeah, Reuel, he was also known, of course, as Jethro, who may very well have been a worshiper of the true God, notwithstanding his being also the priest of Midian. Okay, so it's just another name for Jethro. All right. And Moses sought Hobab's help, or Hobab, however you say it, his help in leading Israel through the wilderness, and he promised Hobab a portion of the inheritance of Israel within the land if he would come. And the text of Numbers does not explicitly state whether Hobab responded to Moses or not, but Judges 1:16 implies that Hobab agreed to Moses' request, and later he joined with Judah in the conquest of the land, and he did receive the blessing of dwelling in the land. So I guess maybe later on, but not now. Alright, and then the Israelites traveled for 3 days from Sinai before they encamped for more than one night. Alright, and then as Israel traveled and encamped, Moses prayed that the Lord would give victory and that his presence would be among her. Yeah, rise up, O Lord, and let your enemies be scattered, and let those who hate you flee before you. And return, O Lord, to the many thousands of Israel. All right, and that's actually the end of chapter 10. So they finally left Mount Sinai. How about that? Yep. But sadly, things are going to start to go wrong pretty quickly. But that'll come up in chapter 11. But we'll see what Prager has to say about 10 next time, Lord willing. But until then, may God bless you in the grace and mercy won by Jesus, the love of God, and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all.